My coworker insisted she should be promoted over me because she had more followers on social media. When I got the job instead, she screamed, "This office runs on favoritism." The boss calmly pulled up our work reports and said, "No, it runs on results." Her face turned red as the entire office stared in silence. All right, so I've been working at this marketing firm in New York City for 4 years now. It's not a huge company, but big enough that people are always competing for promotions. The work is tough, the expectations are high, and if you don't deliver, you're out. I was up for a senior strategist position that just opened up after the last person left for a competitor. I had been preparing for this for months, staying late, taking on extra projects, making sure my work stood out. But there was one problem. Ava. Ava had been at the company for about a year and a half, and in that short time, she had built a reputation, not as a great marketer, but as someone who was always on her phone. She had 50,000 followers on Instagram and somehow thought that made her better at marketing than the rest of us. She was constantly filming herself at her desk, doing fake, busy work for the camera, then posting captions like, "Monday grind. Who else is working hard today?" #bossbabe, #hustle culture. Meanwhile, the rest of us were actually doing our jobs while she was setting up ring lights at her desk. If there was a team meeting, she'd make sure to get a photo of her serious work face with some motivational quote underneath. It was embarrassing. The worst part? She actually believed this made her a better marketer than the rest of us. One morning, Mr. Carmichael, the boss, sent out an email saying he'd be making a decision soon about the senior strategist promotion. Ava, of course, took this as an opportunity to announce to everyone that she was the best choice. We were sitting in the break room when she casually said, I don't see how they could give it to anyone else but me. I literally have the biggest personal brand in this office." I almost laughed. Personal brand? I just looked at her and said, "You think your Instagram followers matter in this?" She gave me a condescending smile. "Marketing is all about influence. I have influence. That's why I'm the best choice." It was like talking to a wall. She had no clue what she was talking about. She wasn't bringing in revenue. She wasn't running successful campaigns. She was just posting aesthetic photos and pretending it was work. I didn't say anything else. I just let her talk. A few days later, Mr. Carmichael called me and Ava into his office. I could already tell she thought she had one. She strutted in like she was walking a red carpet, phone in hand, probably recording a POV, "You're about to get a promotion," TikTok. We sat down, and Mr. Carmichael wasted no time. "Ava, you believe you deserve this position. Why?" Ava sat up straight and smiled, like she had been waiting for this moment. "Well, aside from my performance here, I have a massive online presence. I understand digital trends in a way no one else in this office does. I have 50,000 followers. That's influence. And influence is everything in marketing." The confidence she had was unreal. Mr. Carmichael raised an eyebrow. "Right. Now let's look at some actual performance metrics." He turned his computer screen toward us. On the screen was a breakdown of our work performance over the last year. My campaigns averaged a 32% increase in client sales and brought in $3.4 million in revenue. Ava's campaigns averaged a 6% increase in sales and brought in $250,000 total. The room went dead silent. I saw Ava's face fall for the first time. She blinked a few times, trying to process what she was seeing. Then she laughed nervously. "Well, metrics don't tell the whole story," she said. Mr. Carmichael didn't even blink. "Actually, they do," he said. "Marketing is about results. Not followers. Not hashtags. Not aesthetics. Revenue." Ava's face turned red. The office was completely quiet. People were watching through the glass walls, pretending to work but definitely listening. She opened her mouth like she was about to argue. But then she lost it. "This office runs on favoritism," she screamed. "You just don't like me. You're all threatened by a strong woman." I swear to God, she actually said that. Mr. Carmichael leaned back in his chair, completely unbothered. "No, it runs on results. And yours don't measure up." Ava looked around the office, like she expected someone to back her up. No one did. Then, she did something I will never forget. She pulled out her phone, went live on Instagram, and started ranting. "You guys, corporate America is a joke. I just got rejected for a promotion because my boss is intimidated by my success. If anyone knows a company that actually values creativity, hit me up because I'm done." The entire office was watching her meltdown in real time. People were recording. Mr. Carmichael? He just smiled. Then he said something that changed everything. Ava was still live streaming, ranting about how unfair this was, how our boss was threatened by her success, and how the whole company was a toxic corporate machine that didn't value real marketing. Everyone in the office was watching. Some openly, some pretending to work while sneaking glances. You could almost hear a pin drop as Mr. Carmichael sat back in his chair, arms crossed, waiting. Then, he dropped the bombshell. Ava, you do realize you're live streaming this from a company-owned phone, on company Wi-Fi, while on the clock? Ava froze mid-sentence. For a second, it was like her brain couldn't process what he just said. Her phone was still in her hand, her face still on the screen, but her eyes flickered with pure panic. Then, she ended the live. Too late. Mr. Carmichael turned to his computer and started typing. I assume you've read your contract, correct? Ava swallowed hard. What do you mean? The confidentiality clause. The one that says discussing internal company matters publicly, especially in a way that damages our reputation, is grounds for immediate termination. Her entire body stiffened. Wait, no, I was just, not only that, he continued, voice completely calm, but you've been using company time and resources to promote your personal brand. We have hours of footage from the security cameras showing you setting up tripods, filming, scrolling through social media while ignoring client emails. He turned his monitor again. There on the screen was a list of timestamps. Days, times, video links from the security feed. This isn't just about the promotion anymore, Ava, Mr. Carmichael said, lacing his fingers together. It's about ethics. About company policy. About misusing company property and time for personal gain. Ava was breathing hard now. I didn't know, I didn't think, you didn't think, period. He cut her off. Before Ava could say anything else, there was a knock on the door. One of our IT guys, Daniel, stepped in, looking a little pale. Sir, you're going to want to see this, he said, holding up a company-issued tablet. Ava's live stream? It went viral. And not in a good way. Ava spun around. What? Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, it's everywhere, Daniel said. Your rant was clipped, stitched, and now companies are weighing in. He turned the tablet so we could see. The top comment on the viral clip? Imagine thinking 50K Instagram followers matter more than actual revenue. LMAO. Other responses flooded in. I'd never hire someone this unprofessional. This is why some influencers fail in real jobs. If she's so good at marketing, why didn't she market herself better here? Ava gasped like a fish out of water. No. This is taken out of context. Daniel cleared his throat. It's also been picked up by some corporate blogs. Ava whipped back to Mr. Carmichael. You have to make them take it down. This is defamation. They're ruining my name. Mr. Carmichael let out a short laugh. You did that yourself. And then, just when things couldn't get worse for her, they did. Another knock at the door. HR. Ava's eyes went wide. Her breathing turned shallow. Ava, the HR rep said, we need to have a discussion about your recent behavior. Right now. Ava looked back and forth between us. Her lips parted like she wanted to argue, wanted to deny everything, but she couldn't. The proof was there. Her social media clout wasn't saving her now. She stood up on shaky legs, muttering something about misunderstandings and cancel culture. Then she followed HR out. The second she left the office, the tension broke. People exhaled. Some exchanged wide-eyed glances. Others immediately started whispering. I sat there, still processing. Mr. Carmichael turned to me. Well, he said, adjusting his tie. That was something. Ava was gone for the rest of the day. Nobody saw her after she walked out with HR. But the office was buzzing. People were waiting. Watching. Would she come back? Would she be fired? Would she pull some crazy stunt to save herself? And then, an email hit everyone's inbox. A company-wide memo. From HR. And when I opened it, my jaw dropped. I clicked on the HR email, expecting the usual corporate jargon. Instead, what I read made my stomach drop. Subject, urgent. Company policy violation and internal investigation. Dear team, we are currently conducting an internal investigation regarding a serious breach of company policy. Until further notice, all employees are required to refrain from discussing the matter on social media or outside the company. Anyone found violating this directive will be subject to disciplinary action. HR department. The office erupted. People started whispering, glancing around like they were waiting for more information. What did serious breach mean? We already saw Ava's meltdown. What else was there? I turned to my coworker, Matt, who was furiously typing. Dude, are you emailing HR? I asked. No, he whispered. I'm trying to find the full video of Ava's live. Someone has to have it. Ava's secret side hustle? And then, Daniel from IT walked back in. His face looked weird, pale, uneasy. He made a beeline for Mr. Carmichael. Sir, he said in a low voice. It's worse than we thought. I saw Mr. Carmichael's jaw tighten. He waved his hand for Daniel to continue. Daniel cleared his throat. Ava's been selling company strategies. The room went dead silent. What do you mean selling? Mr. Carmichael asked, his voice sharp. Daniel pulled up his phone and showed him something. Mr. Carmichael's face darkened. She's been running a consulting service on the side, Daniel explained. Clients we pitched to but didn't sign? She's been contacting them privately, selling our pitch decks as customized strategies. Ava wasn't just wasting company time on social media. She was leaking internal marketing strategies to outside clients and making money off it. I heard a loud gasp behind me. Someone whispered, "She's so screwed." Just when I thought the situation couldn't get crazier, HR walked back in. But this time, they weren't alone. 2 security guards were standing behind them. And Ava was with them. Her face was pale as a ghost. Her usual cocky smirk? Gone. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying. "Ava," Mr. Carmichael said, his voice eerily calm. "Is there anything you'd like to tell us?" Ava shook her head quickly. No, whatever you think I did, it's wrong." Mr. Carmichael turned his computer monitor toward her. On the screen? An email trail. Screenshots of her sending our client pitch decks to outside businesses. Invoices from her consulting side gig. Payment records. She was caught. Red-handed. Ava's breathing picked up. "This is a misunderstanding," she tried, but her voice was shaky. "I was just helping people. Everyone does freelance work, not with confidential company information," Mr. Carmichael cut in. "That's theft." Ava staggered back. "No, wait, I can fix this. I'll delete everything. It's too late," HR said. "You've already broken federal confidentiality laws." "Ava, we've already contacted legal," Mr. Carmichael said. "You need to leave. Now." The guard stepped forward. Ava broke. "You can't do this to me," she shrieked. "I'm not a criminal. This isn't fair." She whipped out her phone, probably to record, but one of the security guards grabbed it. "Ma'am, you need to come with us." Ava screamed. Cursed. Flung her arms like a toddler throwing a tantrum. But the guards just dragged her out. And then, just like that, she was gone. The office was silent for a full minute after she left. And then, someone muttered, "Holy sh**T." Nobody even knew what to say. I turned to Mr. Carmichael. "So, she's fired?" "She's more than fired," he sighed. "She's under investigation now." I nodded, feeling a weird mix of relief and disbelief. I figured that was the end of it. Ava was gone. I had the promotion. Case closed. But then, Daniel's phone buzzed. He looked down at it. His face went pale again. "Oh, my God. What?" I asked, already bracing myself. "She's already posting. On Twitter." I snatched his phone and scrolled. Sure enough, Ava had just tweeted, "Fired for being too good at my job. Welcome to corporate America, where talent is punished and mediocrity gets promoted. #boycott, company name, #I stand with Ava," and then I saw it. Her tweet was blowing up. She had thousands of likes. Hundreds of replies. And worst of all, some influencers with huge followings were backing her up. People who had no idea what actually happened were already saying she was a victim of corporate discrimination. Mr. Carmichael saw it too. His jaw clenched. "This isn't over," he muttered. And I realized he was right. Ava's tweet was everywhere. Within an hour, it had gained 20,000 likes and thousands of retweets. Influencers, random Twitter users, and self-proclaimed corporate warriors were rallying behind her. This is why the corporate world is dying. They fired a young, creative woman because she was too smart for them. They're scared of her influence. She should start her own company and destroy them. If she was a man, they would have made her CEO. Disgusting. The actual story? Buried. The internet had already decided. Ava was the victim. Our company was the villain. I stared at the chaos unfolding online, my pulse pounding. "This is insane," I muttered. "She's manipulating the whole thing." Mr. Carmichael didn't respond. He was on the phone with legal. "Yes, we have evidence," he said, his tone clipped. "Yes, multiple violations." "No, we're not making a public statement yet." He hung up and turned to us. "Nobody responds to this online," he said firmly. "We'll handle it the right way." I wanted to trust him. But I also knew the internet didn't care about the right way. It wanted drama. And Ava was giving them a show. The next morning, I walked into work bracing for impact. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. Daniel from IT was already at his desk, staring at his screen like he had seen a ghost. "Dude," he said, waving me over. "You're gonna want to see this." He turned his monitor toward me. Ava had just posted an announcement. A live video. I hit play. Ava was sitting in a coffee shop, looking distressed, like she had just finished crying. She sniffled dramatically before speaking. "I didn't want to say this, but I can't stay silent anymore." My stomach dropped. The real reason I was fired, she whispered. It wasn't about company policy. It was because someone at the company was trying to sabotage me from the start. Someone who wanted that promotion so badly that they set me up. I froze. You all know who I'm talking about, she said, her voice dripping with fake sadness. He's been jealous of me since day one. And now he's gotten exactly what he wanted. She didn't say my name. She didn't have to. The comments exploded. Holy sh**t she means op? He got her fired? Wow, bro is probably celebrating right now. Loser. My blood ran cold. She had just turned the entire internet against me. By the time I got to my desk, my work email was flooded with messages. Some were from random people outside the company, sending me threats, calling me a snake, a corporate sellout, and worse. Coworkers were whispering. Some were staring at me like I actually did something wrong. I felt sick. And then I heard her voice. Ava was in the office. I whirled around and there she was, standing at the front desk, still dressed like she was about to record another Pity Me TikTok. Why are you here? I demanded, storming toward her. She turned to me, eyes glinting with triumph. Oh, I just came to get my things, she said sweetly. And to see how you were handling your 15 minutes of fame. My hands clenched into fists. Are you insane? I hissed. You're actually trying to ruin my career. Do you even care that you got yourself fired? Ava shrugged. Oh, please. I was never meant to stay in a place like this. I have options. I could feel everyone watching us. The tension was thick. You lied, Ava. You lied to thousands of people. You stole company strategies. You broke the rules. And now you're trying to take me down because you can't handle the fact that you lost. She smiled. Sweetie, people don't care about the truth. They care about the story. And right now, she leaned in. I'm winning. That was it. That was the moment I realized something. She was never going to stop. And then, something happened that Ava didn't expect. Mr. Carmichael walked over. And he wasn't alone. Standing next to him was a lawyer. Ava, Mr. Carmichael said, his voice smooth as steel. You really should have read the fine print of your contract. Ava's smug expression faltered. What? The lawyer stepped forward, holding a folder. You didn't just break company policy, he said. You violated your non-disclosure agreement. You leaked confidential data. That's a federal offense. Ava stumbled back. Wait, I didn't mean. You can try playing the victim online all you want, Mr. Carmichael said, but we have the receipts. And now? We're suing you. The entire office went silent. Ava's face drained of color. You can't do that, she stammered. The lawyer smiled. Oh, we can. And we are. Ava was escorted out of the office, her confidence shattered. Her lawsuit? It became public knowledge within days. The same people who had defended her online? They turned on her. Wait, so she actually did steal company info? LMAO, she thought she could lie her way out of this. She's finished. No company will ever touch her now. Her influencer career tanked. Her followers dropped. She vanished. A week later, I was sitting in my new office. The senior strategist position was mine. But honestly, it didn't feel like a win. Ava had been a fraud, a liar, a thief, but she had almost ruined me with a few tweets and a well-placed lie. I learned something from this. It doesn't matter how hard you work, how ethical you are, how much proof you have. The internet? It loves a scandal more than it loves the truth. But in the end, facts still matter. And Ava? She learned that the hard way.